All right, what's up, FFA? Good morning, everybody. What an awesome week it's been out there. You guys have been absolutely dominating it this week. Let's give a huge shout out to Jeff in the agency chat for closing what I believe is his record app so far, over $400 a month. I know he's on track to have like a 10K week for him. So nice work to you, Jeff, and way to push, man. Guys, so many of you deserve a shout out running and doing big things. Big shout out to all the coaches, all the team leaders out there for growing, recruiting, building. It is shaping up to be an awesome year. I love seeing you guys grow your agencies and grow your team. Super exciting stuff going on here as we run to make 2025 the biggest year yet. On this Friday call, I'm going to talk to you about something so important, whether you're in the field or on the phones, and that's value-based selling. So selling on value and not on price, okay? It's a science that if you can master it, makes this job so much easier, and it makes the product that you give your client so much better. So be ready to take notes on this Friday morning call, because it's going to be a training intense call for you guys where I'm going to teach you exactly what to say when you're working with somebody to lead you to the finish line. Okay. How many of you have been out there this week and you've ran into a client where, you just can't get to the finish line? Like they want the product, they don't want it. The presentation went good. You felt like you had a connection, but you just can't get them to sign at the end of it. All right. If that's you, if you've struggled with that this week, this call is going to help you out significantly. But don't forget, guys, holiday party, February 8th. Hopefully I can see all of you there. It's coming up quick. Hopefully there's no snowstorm. All right. But February 8th is right around the corner for that. There are new activity trackers and a new book of business that Alicia, I believe, had emailed out to you guys. So if you've not seen that, make sure you check it out. She made some videos and put those on Google Drive on how to utilize those. So if that's something that you want to dive into, I think it'll really, really help you out just being organized with your business. So make sure that you guys check that out. Before we jump into the training today, let's talk about the verse of the day. All right. One that is so important that we keep on our mind. And it says, the world and all its desires pass away, but whoever does the will of God lives forever. This is something that I have to constantly remind myself, right? How many of us go into the day, into the week, just focus on work, focus on this, focus on family, focus on everything else except what we were really called to do, right? Which is his will. So, guys, life is a beautiful thing when you attack it, trying to follow what you believe his will is for you. Okay. Why is that important? It seems like everything else in life just seems to work itself out when you put him first. But the minute that I don't do that, the minute that I start putting worldly things first, then it's like everything turns upside down, right? So I thought that would be a good verse going into this weekend. All right. Is what is his will for you? Okay. Think about that. What is he calling you to do? All right. Pretty good verse jumping into to wrap up this week and jumping into the weekend. Let's jump into the training now of how to close on value. All right. I'm seeing this PDF totally downloaded wrong. So that's pretty funny, but bear with me. Okay. We're going to work through this anyway. This thing's got some typos on it when I uploaded it here to the live feed, but oh well. Hey, we're going to work through it. So budget-based selling. Okay. How to close on value. What is this, right? Why is it important? Guys, think about for you right now, what makes you buy things? All right. What makes you buy a product, right? There's really 4 reasons why somebody would buy something or choose not to buy it, right? The first thing is the price of it. The second thing is what options are on it. Okay. What features is it going to accomplish what you want for it? Every product solves a specific purpose, right? Think about it. Think about this water bottle. Think about the cap on top of it. Okay. If you were in a grocery store and there was a water bottle with a cap on it and a water bottle that was wide open with no cap, which one would you buy? You probably buy the one with a cap so it doesn't spill, right? So features, options, things that are on it. Number 3, the access to it. All right, think about like if you bought a car, how close is the dealership to you if something goes wrong with the car? How long would it take you to get help with that product if something goes wrong with it, if it breaks? All right, is it gonna take forever, right? Are you gonna be on hold forever with a company trying to work this out? Or is it close to you, right? I think about banks. So I use a local bank in town. I love the aspect. It's a smaller bank, but I love it because if I have an issue, I can drive 5 minutes up the street, walk into the door, sit down with a real person, and they fix whatever issue I have, right? The other issue, I had a mobile check that wouldn't go through. I walked right into the bank. They looked at it. They fixed it, deposited it. It was easy. If I was with a huge bank that I couldn't do that with, who knows how long that would take me. I'd probably have to sit on hold and talk to somebody that, I could barely understand to get this fixed. So access is important to people. What about reliability, right? Like chances are you're going to buy something, not the cheapest thing, it's not the most reliable. You're going to want to buy something that is a good price, but that's going to last you. Like you're not going to have issues with it 24/7, right? So reliability. So my question to you guys, go to the WhatsApp chat. Which one of these, all right, is number 1? Which one do you think is the most important to somebody when they're purchasing something? How about this? Which one is most important to you? All right. If I were to give you an option 1 through 4, which would be the most important one to you? Are you going to buy something on price, the options it has, the access you have if something goes wrong, the reliability? Which one's most important to you? As a buyer, think about anything you've ever bought. All right. When you go out to eat or when you go look at cars, which one is most important to you? Okay, guys, I'm going to give you kind of a tidbit here is price is generally not the most important thing to somebody. Okay. Think about when you're looking at a car and you show up to the car lot. I really doubt that you walk in and you say, hey, what is the cheapest car that you have on the lot? You probably aren't saying that, right? You're probably saying, hey, what's the most reliable car at a good price, right? Price does matter, but it's not the most important thing. Guys, selling life insurance and health insurance, everything that we do, this is the same concept. This is the same thing that your clients think. Price is not the most important, but for some reason, insurance agents base everything off of price. And it's a horrible way to help your client because the cheapest thing is definitely not the best. It's the reason it's the cheapest, right? There's a reason for it. You get what you pay for. Okay. So selling on price is a very, very bad way, all right, to help your clients. It's a very bad way to base your presentation off of, right? Don't just pull up the insurance toolkits and be like, boom, this is the cheapest one for you. It matters, but it's not the number one thing that matters. Okay, let's talk about number 2, options. Guys, options on life insurance is so important, right? We had an agent in a house this past week. We did a call to close, okay? And she did not care about the death benefit of the plan. She said, hey, I've taken care of my kids forever. It's up to them. They could put me in the backyard. They could figure it out, right? I don't want to leave no money to anybody. She didn't care about that. What she actually cared about, all right, and what the agent was able to sell on was based off the accelerated death benefit and terminal illness rider, right? If this lady had cancer before, if she were to get a terminal illness, she loved the concept that she would be able to take some money out of her plan while she's alive and actually use it. So she bought a policy based on the option, right? She didn't really care about the price. She cared about what feature she was getting from that. So that one's really important. Let's talk about access. Guys, this is so much more important than price. Okay. Usually the cheapest products out there have the least customer service when it comes. There's a reason, right? They don't have to pay people to maintain the thing. So you think about your clients that get insurance cards through the mail, or they get marketed through the TV, whatever the case is, right? Their access to get help is a nightmare. They have to call and wait on hold for an hour just to speak to somebody and then get transferred to somebody else. They don't want that. They would love the idea that you could be their access point. You could be their agent. When they need to change their beneficiary, they don't have to call the insurance company. They can call their agent, who can then set the form up and do the work for them, right? So people love that idea. We had an agent, big shout out to Willie, all right, out there. Willie helped a guy on the phone, all right? This guy had got sold a plan. Willie was working his way through it, but Willie couldn't beat the price, all right, of what this guy took out. Just could not do it. The guy took out one of the cheapest plans, couldn't beat the price. But the guy actually told Willie, hey, I would rather pay $10 more a month for you to be my agent, to have an honest agent that I could call when I need something. So come on over, Willie, and let's do this application. And Willie went over there and closed that thing. So big shout out to him. But guys, Willie wasn't selling on price. He was selling the accessibility of him to his client. That's so much more important than price. That client was more than happy to pay a little bit extra per month to have Willie be his agent, right? So he could have a local agent that he could trust, all right, and take care of him, right? So that was more important to that client. Let's talk about reliability. Guys, cheap insurance plans, if you look at the payout rate of those policies, I almost guarantee you that there's more contested claims with the cheapest companies than there is with the ones that are charging the right price, right? So reliability matters, okay? Your client does not want something it's not going to work for them. They don't want something that they're going to have issues with, all right? Or there's gray areas in the medical questions. They want something very detailed, very specific, that's reliable, right? I think about our carriers that offer phone interviews. Guys, those products are amazing. I know us as agents, we don't like the phone interview process, right? It takes forever. But if something ever happens to that client, there's the reliability of the underwriting that went into that plan that's going to make it more accurate to actually take care of that family. So that's what matters. So out of all of these options, guys, believe it or not, price is the least important one. So don't sell based off of the cheapest price. Don't go into a house thinking, can't beat the price, I can't do anything with it, right? That's really not true. There's a lot more involved in these products that matter to people than just the price of it. So let's talk about figuring this out. Okay. If you've been an agent who you've really relied on selling on the cheapest plans, right? How do you switch that? How do you get to the point where you're actually selling on value versus just the cost of something? All right. This is what you have to do. Okay. Here's a question that you should ask your clients every single time. Okay. As you're doing your underwriting, as you're rolling through this, all right, if we could find a plan that fits your budget, notice I said fits your budget. I didn't say if we could find the cheapest thing for you. I said if we could find a plan that fits your budget and your needs. So it accomplishes all of those things: price, reliability, options, accessibility. Is that something that's important to you? Right, guys? You want to find the product that works for your client, and you want to make sure that what you're offering them is actually important to them. If they say yes to this question, you just got their approval to shop around, right? To get them the plan, not the cheapest, not the most expensive, but the best one for them. Okay, so that's a question that you really should be asking, especially if you're doing telesales, right, guys? If you're doing telesales, this is one of the opening questions that I love to ask, because I want to know if this person is serious about wanting to buy something, about wanting coverage. I don't want to waste their time. I know they don't want to waste my time. This is a good question, especially on the phones. In person, very important also, right? If you're getting a runaround with your client, you don't know what they want, just ask this simple question. Is this important to you? Okay. Let's dive into what not to ask. Guys, as you work through your presentation, do not ask them how much coverage they want. I know what you're thinking. You would think, well, why would I not ask that? That's like the most important thing. It's not. Guys, you're setting yourself up for failure and you're setting your client up to be disappointed. Okay. If you asked me, if I wasn't in this business and you said, hey, how much coverage do you want? I would probably say, well, I want $10 million. I want as much as I can get. What if I can't qualify for that? What if I'm 75 years old and I have a lot of health conditions and that's just not possible, right? Unless I pay millions of dollars per month for it. Well, I would be disappointed if I set a number and then you as my agent came back and said, that's really not realistic. That would kind of just not be a good scenario. But that's what you're doing when you ask your client for how much coverage they want. Okay, don't ask that question. Instead, you want to find out the budget. Okay, the budget is the most important thing to your client. It's not the price of the plan or whatever. It's that can they actually manage paying it? Because if they can't manage paying it, then it doesn't matter. They can't buy it, right? If I wanted to go to a dealership and, buy a Bugatti that costs, $40 million, whatever they cost. I don't know what they cost. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, it's cool. Do I want to pay for it each month? Probably not, right? Your clients are the same way, right? So you want to figure out their budget. Once you figure out their budget, that's value-based selling. You can fit the right product inside of that. So how do you ask this? Guys, when you do your call to close, when you get the carrier, you know which route to go. It's a very simple question, right? I work from the top down, and these numbers are examples of what I usually ask, but they can differ, right? If I'm with a client that I know has more exposable income, they're going to want a higher benefit. Maybe I bump these numbers up a bracket, right? But generally, this is what I'm asking, right? I'm going to say, hey, Miss Betty, look, we got the right plan. Everything seems great. But let me ask you this. Is $150 to $200 a month within your budget? Is that something that's manageable for you for your insurance? Right? I'm going to listen to what she says. Maybe she says yes. Maybe she says absolutely not. I'm on a fixed income. I cannot afford that, right? I can't come close to that. What doesn't matter, okay? If she says yes, perfect. That's the amount of money that I'm sticking the benefits into, okay? But let's just say on average, most people say no to that first one. Like 80% of people say yes to the second one. So if she says, heck no, that's way too crazy, too high, I'm going to say, hey, no problem, right? I totally understand. Everything's really expensive. What about like 100 to 150? Is that better? Let's say she says, yeah, Ryan, that works. I could fit that in. Okay, guys, once you get that agreement, you've got the deal. The deal's closed. She agreed to what she wanted to pay. The rest is simple, right? So let's say she says, yeah, 100 to 150. What am I going to do as the agent? I'm going to get my iPad, right, or a sheet of paper. I'm going to write 100, 125, 150. And I'm going to take whatever death benefit that is, whatever product, and attach it to each one of those. So maybe $100, gets her 20,000 in coverage. Maybe 125 gets her 25,000, and 150 gets her 30,000. I'm going to write those down. Then I'm going to say, all right, Miss Betty, look, I know you said 100 to 150 is manageable for you. So at 100, okay, kind of like the starting point of your budget, that would get you up to 20,000. Or for just a little bit more at 150, it gets you all the way up to 30. Which one of these do you want to get started with? That's how I ask the question, right? And I let them pick. Guys, I don't care if Miss Betty picks 100 or 150. It doesn't make any difference to me. I want her to pick something that she's comfortable with, but that fits her need, that she can manage each month. It's not about what you sell. It's about what you keep on the books that matters, right? You don't do your client any good by overselling them. So let her pick one, right? And let's say she picks $100 a month. Perfect. What am I going to do next? I jump right into the application. Hey, Miss Betty, that's a perfect choice. I love that one. That's what most people have. So I've got some homework to do. Next up, I'm going to work on getting you approved. Your homework, just to think it over the next couple of weeks, make sure it's manageable, make sure it's exactly what you want. But I'm going to go ahead and work through getting you approved. Guys, I've got the application pulled up already, and I'm just filling it out, right? I'm just rolling right through it. I've already got it pulled up on my iPad. We're small talking, and I'm going through the questions and helping her with what she wants to do. So that's value-based selling. I'm selling on a budget, and I'm selling on the features, right? The reliability of the plan. All of these first things that we talked about on this slide, that's what I'm going with. Okay, let's say Miss Betty already has a plan, okay? But that plan doesn't have everything in it. I'm not afraid to tell Miss Betty, hey, Miss Betty, look, life insurance is a lot like a car. All right. When you go to buy a car, right? I seen your nice, your nice Cadillac you got out there. When you went to buy that thing, chances are you didn't walk in and just say, hey, I want the cheapest thing. I don't care if it's reliable. I don't care what features it has. I just want the cheapest product. Chances are you didn't do that. Chances are you picked that Cadillac because it was black. It's got nice leather seats, right? Probably's got a warmed up steering wheel when it's cold out like this. So you like the features in it. Life insurance is a lot like that. They're not all the same. Some plans give you options, other ones don't. Okay, so I'm going to explain these things to her so that I can build enough value to not have to sell on price. Let's say Miss Betty doesn't have any insurance right now. I'm not selling her the cheapest thing, right? I'm selling her the plan that gives her the most bang for her buck. All right, if one carrier offers an accidental rider that will take her death benefit from $20,000 to $40,000 for her son, who's the beneficiary, and it's $2 more per month, I'm offering that product, right? I'm not offering the cheapest one. If there's a product that, I know Miss Betty, let's say Miss Betty's impatient. She wants to know if she gets approved today. All right, I'm going to pick a carrier that's going to tell me if she gets approved within 5 minutes. I'm not going to pick one, even if this one's a little bit cheaper. I'm not going to pick one that's going to take me 2 weeks to get it approved and then 5 weeks to get her policy booklet, right? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pick the one that makes the process the best for my client, even if it's $1 or $2 more. Okay, I would rather pay $5 more a month to know that I got approved, it's done, I'm getting my booklet in a week, and it's going to be good to go for next week, then not do that and have it take a month and a half to figure out if it even worked, right? So sell on value, guys. Don't sell the cheapest thing. And also, to wrap this up, your clients love the idea that they're not buying something cheap. All right. Who likes buying something cheap? I hate it. Okay. If I go to Lowe's or Home Depot and I need to buy a tool to fix something, I'm not going to buy a piece of junk that's going to break the first time I use it, right? I'm going to pay a little bit extra to buy something that I know that when my kids get older and they want to use that tool, it's still going to work, right? I would rather do that. Your clients are the same way. Nobody likes cheap stuff. All right. Price is important, but reliability is more important. Access is important. Options are important. So don't be so quick to race to the bottom when you're selling this product. You're just hurting your client, guys. So this is something where I see this so often. Agents try to beat each other up on prices so much that they just race to the bottom. I think about when I started a contracting company and we were putting in windows and doors. and doing remodeling work. When I started that company, it was really good, right? We named our price, everything was happy. But then something happened. There was a bunch of people that started doing the same work, and everybody was outbidding each other to the point that nobody was making any money, and the clients were getting just garbage work done, right? Like, I actually made more money coming in to fix what they hired as the cheapest price messed up. They had to pay me twice as much to then go tear it out and fix it. They'd have been better off just paying a little bit of extra and let me do it the right way first. All right, guys, insurance is just like that. Don't race to the bottom. Make sure you sell on value and not on price. And I promise you, you're going to lower your chargeback ratio. Okay, because if you come in and sell on price, another agent's going to come in on sell on price. You don't do that, right? You sell you. You sell the connection to you and the value. And that value and that connection is what makes you have a client for life. Okay, it makes your clients not want to shop around. But if you come in and you're very transactional and you only sell on price, you're going to get ate up with chargebacks in this business and getting your policies replaced. So sell on value, sell on the connection, and that's how you build a sustainable book of business. So hopefully this helps you guys some as you go out there in the field this week. Let's go wrap this week up in a big fashion, okay? And don't forget this verse going into this weekend, right? Do his will. When you're out there in the field, I believe that you are fulfilling his will. There's a person out there today that needs your help, right? You found yourself at this agency in this career for a reason. There's a family that needs you to come into their life and to help them with what we offer. And whatever you do for work, right, do it as if you're working for him, and big things will happen for you. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in on today's call. Let's go dominate the rest of this week, and we will be back here on Monday.